YouTube selamlar. Vampir'le kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz diyorum. Şuraya gitmemiz lazım. Hemen oraya gidelim. Zaten artık birazcık güçlendik. Herhalde artık öldürebilirim diye düşünüyorum inşallah tabi de. Öyle tahmin ediyorum. Baya güçlenmeye başladı. Peki bu adamla öldürdükçe bu adamlar tekrar doğuyor mu? Semt durumu ciddi. Orada bir sıkıntı var. Bu ne? Ne var oğlum ne? Ne var? Gel buraya. Gel buraya gel. Gel buraya gel. Gel buraya gel. Güzel. Güzel. Akıllı ol. Güzel, enerjimiz bitmiyor kolay kolay. Aha bunlar. Bunları nasıl alacağız? Tabii ki böyle. Gel buraya gel. Önce seni alacağız, sen sağlamsın. Ne oldu beyler? Gel buraya. Ne oldu? Evet, güçlendim, fark ettim. Hissettim şu an. Şu an hissettim güçlendiğimi. Güzel oldu. Demek ki birazcık puanımız arttı mı güçleneceğiz abi. Gel buraya. Yapma, onu yapma işte. Onu yapma işte abi. Öyle bir vuruş yok ya. Öyle bir vuruş yok babacım ya. Öyle bir vuruş yok babacım, yok. Adam hasta etme. Öyle bir vuruş yok. Ya çok güvendim kendime, ondan oldu ya. Yanlış oynadım, ondan oldu. Alırdım onları. Ha, onu aldı. Seni ben besleyeyim de. Bir dakika abi. Ya buraya gel. Gel şimdi. Gel şimdi. Gel şimdi, gel. Şimdi gel. Neredesiniz? Şimdi gel. O ne abi? Gel buraya gel. Gel buraya gel. Gel buraya gel. Ya abicim ya, oha ya, oha ya. Öyle bir ayılar ya. Hadi. Buradan değil mi? Buradan da. Tekrar. Direkt bu. Gel buraya gel. Gel buraya şimdi. öyle öyle. Gel şimdi buraya. Ha şöyle. Abi direkt o hayvanı indirmem lazım. Başka yolu yok yani. Nerede la diğeri? Şuradaydı. Şuradakini aldık mı? Şimdi. Veya almayız. Oha. Vuramadım ki. Hiç vuramadım. Öldüm direkt. Zorluyorsun oyun. Yalan yok, zorluyor. Gerçekten ayıp ediyor. Gel buraya. Gel buraya. Yavaş oğlum. Yavaş lan manyak. Geber ulan geber. Nedir ya? Hadi bakayım, yine aynı yerdeyiz. Gel buraya. Gel buraya. Sen benimsin şimdi. Ha. Gel buraya gel. Yavaş ol ya. Manyak ya. Nasıl vurur şöyle? Nasıl bir vuruş öyle ya? Manyaklar. Sonunda. Oh be. Hallettim. Ne oldu? Haydi oğlum, bu yakın yerde ben mi olacağım? Öldürüyor da mı? Öyle dedik ama. Öldürüyordu yani. Güzel. Şimdi çalmaz. Aldım herhalde. Şey nerede? Buradan mıydı? Yo. Buradan da gidilmiyor. Başka yerden gidiliyor o zaman. Buradan o zaman. Gel bakın buraya. Gel bakın buraya. Ne oldu, tek mi kaldı? Tek mi kaldı? Tamam, geberdi sakin. Şunu da alalım. Ops yavaş. Evet, sonra. Biri ölmüştü ama. Nereye kırıyordun sen bu arada? Burada kimse yok. Alan nerede bu arada? Tam önümde.
place for a stroll. Oh, you! Stop there! He's mine!
Gel bakayım buraya.
Christ, he's dead!
Ölecek tabi lan. Ben gelene kadar.
Stop it!
Gel bakayım buraya diyor. Alışıyoruz. Ver bakayım biraz. Yavaş. Biraz can mı alıyorsun? Bekle. Ya buraya gel. Yavaş. Ya buraya şimdi. Oha ama ya. Oha ya. Oha. Sonunda ama ya. Canbaz. Oha ya. Kim kurtardıydı beni? Gözüküyor mu? Yok.
It's locked, all right.
Vay ya.
It's locked.
Ben nasıl gideceğim oraya? Odan da açılmıyor. Buradan gideceğim.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Şurada sığınak var.
Ne oluyor beyler? Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Dur lan.
What happened? Did you really steal?
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Belki seni başkasıyla karıştırmış.
Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town.
I
Perhaps
said sod off.
Oğlum bir dur. Konuşacağız daha ya, az dur.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
Yani
If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go what?
diyorsun. Yorgunsun.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Al ilacı var.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Hadi görüşürüz.
Goodbye.
I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
Şimdi seninle konuşalım bakalım.
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
Bilmiyorum ki, oynarız Deniz bir ara. Hazırsan oynayalım veya.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if...
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin.
Sen de ölüsün.
What can you tell me?
Nothing to say, really.
Halen
You
yok
don't
mu?
have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Daha iyi
I
ya.
had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have...
O kadar berbat.
Perhaps you could focus.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's...
Hallederiz. Rahat ol.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills.
Really? And why?
Thinking of
Word
that.
is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Diyorsun.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Diyorsun.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, was
The doctors called me a liar, a coward.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed.
Tamam.
A gun?
Görüşürüz. Seni de avlayacağım da.
I won't end up another drunk
Hepsinin
arsehole
zamanı
on
var.
the streets. Not me.
Aha. Bayan.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Doctor.
Aynen.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Alışveriş.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
İnsanlar
Is
var
there
mı?
anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Diyorsun.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or deaf.
Senin durumun nasıl? Sen biraz iyisin ha.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask.
Diyorsun.
I'd like to see...
Boy.
Bunlar lazım oldu mu şey yaparız. Konuşuruz seninle tekrar.
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
You've wasted your
Benim şu eve gitmem
life
lazım.
away.
No, yo değil. Zaten görev burası.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Deneyelim.
It's locked, all right.
Bir yerden baktı çocuk, bebek sesi. Aha.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Neden karıştırıyorsunuz?
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Konuşalım. Vay vay vay vay vay.
I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay.
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my...
I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis.
Konuşalım bakalım ya, işler
How is
nasıl?
business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this rat...
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your...
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchant.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Şiddet artıyor mu?
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools.
Diyorsun.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those...
Bir muayene gerekiyor mu? Yok. Güzel. O bayağı da iyisin. Sen güzel iyilesin ha.
Have you heard of a...
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really isn't...
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Cranium.
Diyorsun.
Something like that. Came to England from...
That doesn't explain why she...
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet...
Güzel. Öğrendiğimiz iyi oldu. Kardeş.
Right then.
Sende de bunlar var. Ya ben alışveriş yapacağım ama emin değilim. O yüzden şimdi değil. Bu arada ne kadar oldu ya? Ha iyi. Konuşabiliriz. Seninle de konuşalım.
Excuse me, sir. I have a...
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so...
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a...
Really? But still, here I am.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most.
Have you heard of a nurse named...
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's...
Tamam.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even...
According to you, physicians are scarce in this...
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the...
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knock...
How did you become the local bully everyone...
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found.
Yeah.
And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm them.
Yani bunu diyeceğim.
You survive at any cost, even at the...
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your...
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here?
Güzel.
Goodbye, Mr.
Güzel, güzel, güzel, güzel, güzel. Bu kapı açılıyor. Bu var, buna da bakalım.
Don't be shy, handsome.
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get...
Diyorsun.
Do you know Nurse...
I don't know her, but I know...
You seem to...
Dorothea helps this...
Christina, have you been examined?
I don't like doctors or hospitals.
Hasta mısın? He, yorgunluğum var.
You can put your own life in danger. That's your decision.
And you think that would worry me?
Considering your line of work...
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right?
Diyorsun. Kişisel sorusu.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however...
Short story. The war...
Many
diyor.
people must deal with poverty.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Tamam lan. Konuşma. Haklıymışın gibi.
Goodbye, miss.
Tamam. Bunlara tek tek bakacağız. Bu da bilinmiyor, bu da bilinmiyor.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my
I am Dr. Jonathan.
scientist.
Tanıyor
You
musun?
know Nurse
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses.
So you're not
Nuns should be the only.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before
Aynen.
coming to London, she was a member of the communist.
Bayağı şey öğrendik ha. O tam şu an ölü ha.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But
Well, you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about.
Sadece gerçeklerin ya. Dinliyorum hadi.
well, I suppose I can spare a few.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimated.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself. Corrupt.
Planı nedir?
And what would be your answer to this?
We must fight the disease before this legion out.
What is left then? Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan?
God will recognize his own more than one.
Peki aslında nedir?
Purification by fire has proved useful.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless...
My son, if you think salvation is a free...
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost?
All scientists are entangled in a world...
Quite a
Well, you are seeking answers, aren't
Söyle söyle.
What do you mean?
The beast is...
I have heard...
Tamam dinledim.
Good evening.
It's...
Bir de kişiler soru.
Have you any...
No. But I have a disciple I see as my...
Onu nereye gönderdin oğlum?
Where did you send...
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the...
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Diyorsun. Sen de sağlam adamsın ha.
I have heard a...
Seninle de görüşmemiz lazım herhalde. Sen de bilinmiyor. Deniyor derken.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to
Ne
Whitechapel.
oluyor lan?
But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Soru o. Sen de bana yorgunluk şeyinden lazım ya.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Diyorsun.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Oğlum şu an seni öldürebilirim biliyor musun?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
Yani.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Tamam canım, öldürürüm seni, rahat ol.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Kapsamı merak ediyor ya.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Diyorsun. Kişisel sorun sorunu sonra.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Yani şöyle.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Arabası yok muymuş?
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Güzel.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Olaylar.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Olaylar kardeş. Sure. Burada değil mi? Evet, burada. Beyler. Ne yapıyorsunuz beyler? Ne yapıyorsunuz la? Burada ne var? Ne yapıyorsun lan bu da?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part.
Really?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott.
Diyorsun. Alır mısın?
Do you need medical attention?
It may be wise to let you
I understand your...
The nutrition of my mind is more important.
Rica ederim.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk.
If you
Fazla
say so.
dikkat çekiyorsun.
But as a physician in a...
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has...
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, I...
Dur.
What are your terrible... What are you talking...
Do you remember London before the flu?
My mother loved...
Most people...
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in the...
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city.
If some misfortune came upon you...
Well, you, for a start, my dear doctor.
Diyorsun.
I understand your need for solitude.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor. And my family, despite...
Diyorsun.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek...
The place is not beautiful per se, but...
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smile...
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped...
Vivid, of course, yes.
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't...
Diyorsun.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she...
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality...
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But up.
Tamam. Bayağı öğrendim ha. İyisin. Öttüm bayağı şey.
May I ask you a few questions about...
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction...
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require...
Teşekkürler.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Başka kaldı mı? Burada bir şey var mı? Güzel. Seninle konuştuk mu biz? Dur la. Sen de konuş.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I know what you're thinking. I know you want... Tell me about... Melia, I know you want... A stubborn and...
Seni öldürebiliyor mu? Ah. Ah. Ah. Ah. Ah. Ah. Seni öldürseydim iyiydi.
Very well.
Çok iyiymişsin de.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Diyorsun. Ya bulduk gene la. İstem dışı buldum ha. Bu arada neler bulduk biz. Az bir dakika oğlum. Dünya şey buldum ha. Oy oy oy oy. Bir dünya şey buldum ha. İyileştireceğiz. Rahat ol. Sağlıktan iyileştirip alacağız bunları ama bir tanesini alamıyorsun. Ama bunun son 2 bölüm yapalım arkadaşlar. Son 2 bölümde görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın. Kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Hadi eyvallah.